right, Cory Geiger along with Neil Rudel, our final PSU presser of the season. And Neil, we just got finished with Bill O'Brien's press conference. Some of the seniors also spoke, and I'd be remiss to say if we didn't start with Stefan Morris's very, very heartfelt comments. You might be able to see video somewhere. We'll have it in the Altoona Mirror, but wow, I don't know that I've seen a more emotional type of really opportunity for a kid to share some of the things that he's gone through than Stefan Morris did today.
Fantastic. I mean, we've been coming here for a long time on Tuesday. Now, you know, late in the season, pre-senior day, you do get some emotion. I can remember, I think it was Jason Ganner, whose mom had passed away. It was Fran Ganner's son leading into his last game and whatnot. And they're obviously, these kids have been through a lot, especially this team, but just generally, it's 5 years, they come as boys, they leave as men, and Stefan Morris was asked about, you know, the typical question, what's going to be your emotion coming through the tunnel for the last time? And this kid went off. I mean, he didn't even need any questions. He told practically his life story. He covered so much ground.
His mom tried to give him away when he was 2 years old. He has a great relationship with his dad. His dad has never missed a game. His dad texted him about how proud he is that he stayed at Penn State. That's a great line that you put. They come as boys, they leave as men. That was really what we heard from Stefan.
Yeah, and then he went from there, and just, you know, the fact that they stayed here through all this adversity, and he fully expects all the players that are here now to stay. Now, we don't know, and again, it was an emotional moment, but the bond that you're seeing with a lot of these kids, upperclassmen to underclassmen, assistant coaches, head coaches to players, I think is very strong, and Morris was phenomenal. I don't think anybody in that room today wasn't touched by what he said and isn't rooting for the kid.
Well, there was a lot of stuff that really took place in the press conference today. We'll try to go through a lot of it very quickly. Obviously, seniors and the emotions and everything. Bill O'Brien talking about the seniors and what they've meant to him, and it's the last game of the season, so they want to finish on a good note.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough. I mean, you have a real good opponent, and I think that's one of the good things about the Big Ten is, you know, either Michigan State or Wisconsin has been in this cleanup hitter's role for the last home game, and you know, it's going to be a tough game because Wisconsin can really stop the run and they can run it hard. I mean, this is going to be a rock'em sock'em football game, and Bill said, you know, Penn State's going to have to keep their emotions in check.
Yeah. And he said he likes it. It'll be a real football game in the snow and the cold. He thanked the fans, 90,000, for showing up against Indiana, and that was an impressive turnout for a game against a bad opponent, especially from the student section. And Bill O'Brien appreciated that. You also take a look at what's at stake for this team going out to try to get. They don't have maybe necessarily a great signature win yet. They can get that. This is a good Wisconsin team.
This would be a real good win, especially at the end of the year. You know, Wisconsin's been very competitive. I think their 4 losses probably have a total about 20 points.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting. Both these teams went to Nebraska and had Nebraska on the run and then couldn't finish it. So, and that's a common denominator. Of course, they lost to Ohio State last week in a good game.
Bill O'Brien also said he thinks the addition of Rutgers and Maryland to the Big Ten is fantastic. He obviously has Maryland ties, and he's looking forward to that. You know, recruiting against them, playing against them, and obviously that's the big news of the week is the Big Ten expansion.
Yeah, said he and Randy Edsall were on the same staff at Georgia Tech. They're friends. You know, O'Brien was real upbeat today. He has been all year. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of energy in the program. You know, obviously it's been a tough year and they've been through hell and back. But to get to this point, you know, I just sensed a lot of energy today.
And, boy, obviously it's an emotional week for a lot of players. Jordan Hill came in, Matt McGloin came in, talked about their futures as well. Bill O'Brien, it didn't really come up today about his future, whether he'll stay or not, but I did ask him what he enjoys about Penn State and State College, and he gave a good answer. He likes his house, he likes his neighbors, he likes a couple of restaurants, he said. So some interesting, and obviously Michael Mahdi, we want to mention that. Neil asked if there was a possibility that Mahdi could get a 6th year. Now, I'd asked before that, and they said that they don't think that that's going to be possible. O'Brien said it's too early to tell, but I think the way the rule works is if you play in more than 20% of your team's games in a given year, you can't get that year back So my understanding is that Monty can't get that back because he played in 4 games last year. So we'll see.
And
maybe
he may not even want that
Exactly.
back because, I mean, it's going to presumably be a lengthy rehab, and then maybe he'll get a chance to finally play in the NFL. One thing that O'Brien did, and I know he was not asked specifically today about the NFL, which I was kind of glad about it. He was just asked about it on Tuesday. It's not like he has an offer on the table. It is something that a lot of the fans are talking about, are concerned about. And I thought one thing that he's clearly looking at next year. He talked about the offseason. He talked about Stephen Bench in his pitch, and he's used this about a lot of these kids. They have an excellent coaching staff here. They have everything. They can't compete for a Big Ten title or a national championship, but everything else. And he was back to that today, which I thought he was looking ahead, pretty well. And, if that was any kind of indication. They also, according to Phillips Moore of the Mirror, have a real big recruiting weekend, not only this weekend, but they have another one planned for the first weekend in December.
All right, tough game to predict here. Penn State, I think, opened up as about a 2.5, 3-point favorite on Wisconsin. I think this is going to be a really close game. What's your score?
I picked Penn State 27, Wisconsin 20. The one thing we have not seen yet, and it's probably disappointed me a little bit, or I at least thought we would. I know this segment's getting a little bit long, but it's our last Tuesday. Is for as good a job as Bill O'Brien has done offensively with McGloin and the wide open use of the tight end, I don't think we've seen any dramatic trick type play in the red zone.
I was watching the Patriots Sunday. They don't do trick plays, and I was thinking about that exact same thing. They don't. This offense, they just run their offense. They don't do crazy stuff.
There were opportunities at Virginia, and I'm wondering whether there's any kind of an ace up his sleeve, and what a good time to break it out.
Absolutely, because this is a very good Wisconsin defense, and I would love to see the Penn State kids win. I think this would be a terrific win to go out on senior day. It'll be very emotional. And it's hard for me to pick this game because I just don't know that what Wisconsin is playing for here. They've already locked up the berth in the Big Ten championship game. They have said, Bielema has come out and said that they're going to play their regulars. I would kind of wonder how that's going to be in the third and fourth quarter. We'll see. This is a hard one for me to pick. I'm going to go Wisconsin 23-20 just because I think their defense is very good. But I believe me, I would love to see these Penn State kids get this win. This would be a terrific finish to the season. But if Wisconsin plays their regulars for 4 quarters, I just think it's going to be a real tough. They helped us Ohio State to 14. This is a good. It's a good defense.
Yeah, Penn State has struggled against the real great running teams. That's been Ohio State and Nebraska.
So it'll be a good game, and we'll hopefully get to see a quality finish to the season. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. For Neil Rudel, I'm Cory Geiger, and our job shadow guy, Dan Eisenberg, behind the camera. Thanks so much.